so much, everyone, for coming out. My name is Rachel. I am the events coordinator here at Square Books, and we appreciate you all showing up for the launch of this lady's memoir. I think everyone is pretty well aware of who she is, and you all are wonderful people to come out and support her. Just to give you guys a recap of what we have coming up in our events calendar, tomorrow at 5 p.m. we have Diane McPhail. She's reading The Seamstress of New Orleans. And then if you guys haven't signed up yet for our Pappyland virtual event, that is Thursday, June 9th at 7 p.m. You may enter to win for a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. Sorry, I had to think about that. You may find information about that on our website. And then next Thursday, June 16th at 6 p.m., we have Chris Offutt in conversation with Melissa Ginsberg for his new book, Shifty's Boys. Thank you so much for showing up, and I hope you all enjoy.
Hello, can you hear me? Y'all can hear me in the back? Hey, Randy. So it took me a few years to write this, and this has not felt real until right this moment. So I appreciate y'all coming. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Jake Keiser, and 9.5 years ago, I was in the city living the life of a busy publicist, and on the outside it looked like I had everything. But on the inside, I was a nervous wreck. I was riddled with anxiety and severe depression. And over years of dealing with that, I was a master of pushing away trauma. So over years of dealing with that, I started living a fantasy life in my head, a farm fantasy life, where I was by myself and everything's quiet and beautiful and I could be creative again. And I would dream about imaginary animals and my pretend garden and the peace that I would feel doing these things. And then the opportunity came up, because if you know my stepmother, Sue Keiser, you never tell her what your dreams are, because it's going to happen right then. People who know her are like, mm-hmm. So I ended up having the opportunity to move to Mississippi and leave my city life and start the dream farm life and make it real. So I took the leap, and it was the hardest and best decision I've made in my entire life. Because standing before you now is a woman who is healed and grateful and happy. And thank you. And you will read all about that, and you will also read about the madness and magic that is Mississippi. And I'm sure all of you have experiences like that with this state. It is incredible. And that's really it. I know it's a Tuesday night, and I don't want to keep everyone on a school night, but if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them before I proceed with signing.
Are you originally from Mississippi?
I'm originally from Lafayette, Louisiana, but my family moved here when I was very young, and my father was a professor for pre-med biology. So I did live here off and on, and I also moved overseas with my mother and stepfather as a Navy brat. So I really got the best of both worlds. I had a home base here, and I got to see the world and experience different cultures that were nothing like me. So I got the best of both worlds. So yes and no. Yes.
You moved here from New York?
Actually from Tampa. But I found cities worldwide are kind of the same, really. You tend to live in a certain area, and you know all these people, and you have the same routines. And
not Lafayette, though.
Right. No. I don't remember Lafayette, because I was a baby when I moved here. Are there any other questions?
Well,
sorry.
How did you find your farm?
This lady right here, my stepmother, Sue Keiser, she, like I said, I had told her that I was thinking about retiring to a farm. And she made it happen well before retirement. She found it in the paper, right? Yeah, it was just for sale by owner, and it wasn't really a farm. It was a house with some 5 acres of land, and I've made it a farm. It's been my creative slate. Brooke?
What was your biggest challenge starting a farm life from a city life?
Being alone, doing it by myself.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Oh, she asked what was the biggest challenge of starting a farm life, not having any experience with it. I had never even touched a chicken. And yeah, it was, and I would say doing it alone, it's, you never have a day off. If you're sick, it does not matter. I mean, you could be puking your brains out. You're going to have to still deal with it. And it's, I would imagine it's kind of like being a parent, where it doesn't matter what's going on with you. You have to take care of your little ones. So yeah, that was the challenge, the biggest challenge, and it still is doing it alone.
What has been one of your favorite things to do on the farm? What do you like best?
What has been one of my favorite things to do on the farm? I love to cuddle the animals. I mean, and help with the births now that I know what I'm doing a little bit better. So yeah, it's the love that I get from the animals that I didn't get to experience from having my own children.
How many animals do you have?
How many animals do I have? I try to keep them around 50. It gets up to 100. Tracy, you know how this goes. It gets up to 100 at times, but I try to keep around 50 because it's a lot. And it's mostly chickens, and they're real easy, and they're easy.
Why did you decide to write the book?
Well, to be honest, I love this question because I want people to know that anyone can write a book, right, Lynn and Rachel? You don't have to be a writer. I never considered myself to be a writer. I started a blog, and I wrote everything from recipes to really sad things that had happened, and I didn't think anyone was looking at my blog, but it was only up for 30 days before I was discovered by Cosmopolitan and then by People magazine. And I had been a publicist, so people think that I went and sought this book deal. I did not. They came to me, and they said, my agent came to me and said, I've read your blog, and you have really important things to say, which I did not believe her. And then many publishers were like, yes, she's right. And I ended up signing with Random House, Dial Press, and I honestly, this wasn't what I had planned to do my whole life. I wasn't one of those people that was like, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to be an author. I just like to write for myself and to get through my trauma. And I'm so glad that I did this, because to me, this isn't about me. This is about everyone that needs an example of that you can make it past really horrible things, and that you can redefine who you are, and society should not tell me I have no value if I'm not a mom. So that's why I wrote it. I was asked, and I was very happy to do it. So thank you for the question. Rosie?
Will you share with everyone how you name all of the animals and how they are part of your family? Maybe not.
What was the last part?
How they're part of your family. When you come over, they're my family when I'm visiting.
Yeah, well, I named a goat after you, so. Yes. Her name is Rosie Posey, and that's her real name. So I named a goat after her. Oh, well, okay, so she asked how I name the animals, correct? Yeah. And to be honest, it comes to me instantly, or I will meet someone who has a personality like Rosamond Posey, where I'm like, and I'll perfect stranger, I'm like, you have the best goat name. Can I name my animal after you? And most people are like, yeah, it's great. So it's literally either I see them and it happens, it's just a name, and there's some of my animals that still don't have names because I can't tell a personality yet, or maybe they just don't like me at all, and I I just don't give them a name at that point. I just wait until something hits me, or someone I meet, like maybe that animal's just waiting around for a cool name, and I meet someone and it hits me, and next thing I know, it's Rosamond Posey. Yes.
Do you raise animals you eat?
Ooh, I did not go into it to do that. I thought I'd become a vegetarian. I did not. So the short answer is yes, I do eat some of the chickens. I do not touch the goats. They are dairy goats, or it's really when it's a really nasty rooster that I can't rehome, because you can't. I try to, and I've tried for years to rehabilitate some very aggressive roosters that can't, and to me it is very irresponsible to rehome them to a family that doesn't know what they're getting into, or they're going to go for food anyway, so I'm going to make sure that they have a life that I want them to be happy and healthy and free. And then, if they continue their violence, and some are very violent, and I mean like gutting other chickens, when that happens, it's over. And then I eat them. That's a warning to men out there. Any other questions?
Let's talk about the good things and bad things about Tampa, Florida.
I love Tampa. Let me just say that, but I call it Trampa. And I've got friends here that are from Tampa. I love Tampa Bay. To me, it's overpopulated now, and it was much more pretentious and difficult to navigate the social scene. But I still have people there that I love, and I'm very happy to be on a farm, but I'm happy to go visit at times and have the city experience again. But I like that it was not actually St. Pete's on the water, and Tampa is not really a water city, but I really liked the things like Gasparilla Parade and all the social things, and I didn't have to be married with children to enjoy them. And that is something that's difficult for me here. It's much more family oriented, so it's not as inclusive in that way to me that Tampa was. But in other ways, this has been way more healing and wonderful of an experience. So, anywhere you go, it's going to have its positives and negatives. Yes.
Dreams are dreams, and reality is reality. How has your reality matched your dream? And if there is adversity, does it make it better?
I think that, like the seed that has to go through excruciating effort, or an egg, a chicken, an egg, you have to go through that struggle to be strong. And I wouldn't wish what happened to me on anyone, but I'm so free of that now. And I actually feel like it's made me stronger than a lot of people. Because I don't get triggered by these things anymore, and it's just an overwhelming sense of freedom. And I'm sorry, what was the first part?
Dreams are dreams, and reality, so I was wondering how close your reality matched your dream.
Yes, okay.
And then, how adversity either sweetened it or was a punch in the face.
So I thought both. Reality is sweet, and it punches me in the face sometimes. And I really imagine myself in a Disney-like setting where my animals would sing to me, and everybody would wear pink, and there was no poop and no death, and that is wrong. But it's made me stronger, and in some ways, it's really been way better than I thought, because I didn't know what to expect. I wanted the sweet sounds, and I realized it's because I was needing peace. I was needing quiet, and I wanted something to love, and to love me back. So in some ways, that is absolutely accurate and better than I could ever experience. There are some of my animals that seek me out and just fill my heart with joy. And then there are times when there's, mother, as I say in the book, Mother Nature is an asshole. It is, sometimes she just is brutal, and things die in horrific ways. I don't like that at all. I did not expect that. I will never get used to that. But I would say it's 50-50. It's double-edged sword, and it's been really wonderful and healing, and in a lot of ways way better than what I thought. And in some ways, I have gotten the Disney experience, because sometimes they do sing to me. It's just not the way I expected. And they follow me everywhere, and it's weird because I'm like the Pied Piper of 50 animals. I go into the woods, and literally my cats follow me out there too. They all follow. I have an entourage, so I feel really special and famous when I'm home. Any other questions?
How long have you been on your farm?
9.5 years to tomorrow, the 8th. And my sister helped me move here, so thank you for that. Little did she know what was going to happen. I don't think either one of us did.
Do you still write your blog?
I haven't since the finishing the book, but I'm going to start again. It was just an exhaustive process, and I had a really bad car accident a couple of years ago where they didn't think I would recover. I wasn't communicating well. I didn't understand words. Anything past a sentence I couldn't understand, so it was difficult to edit this. It was a challenge, and Random House was wonderful working with me on it. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I just totally forgot the question.
I'm still writing blog.
Oh, yeah. So I'm coming back to it. It's called Gucci to Goats, but I was asked to change it to jakekeiser.com, but it's still Gucci to Goats, because that's what I named it when I was living in Tampa. And, yeah, so I like Gucci to Goats, but Gucci's an issue, so it's Daffodil Hill, which is the name of the farm. Any other?
I'll keep my first question quiet, but my second
Uh-oh.
question is, how can we all help you spread the word on your book to help you leverage this launch?
I love that question. Word of mouth is powerful. I think grassroots is very important. So if you like the book, or if you know anyone who's been through trauma or has had, miscarriages or gone through molestation as a child, this is not a book for, the 12-year-old crowd, I would say. It does go through some pretty bad stuff. But for people who are struggling, and I know a lot of people, in my age group even, who just don't know. I mean, it's amazing. It's like I'm 48, so you hit a certain age and you feel like everything's supposed to be gravy, but you're still struggling. And so anyone who is struggling in any way, I would love for y'all to spread the word. It would mean a lot. Anything else? Yes.
Would you say personally you benefit more from the animals, or do the animals benefit more from you and what they provide to other people?
I'd say it's pretty equal. I mean, there's definitely times when I'm in a bad mood and I don't feel like they're benefiting me. Because they know when you're in a bad mood, they feel that energy and they ratchet it up, and then it just spirals out of control. But yeah, I think it's pretty mutual. And did you have a second part of the question?
Totally different question. Would you ever consider expanding?
Yeah, my dream is to have a bed and breakfast where I teach people some self-empowerment through self-reliance. Because I think even tiny skills give you the confidence that you need to recover. It gives you strength. So that's the dream, is like a bed and breakfast where I do expand and I do teach people and provide a place where there is peace. So yes, I mean, eventually I do have goals with this. I would like to expand.
Who or what is your favorite animal out there?
Ah, that's a dirty question. Can you pick a favorite kid? Mom's? She's sitting on your lap. The favorite is sitting on her lap. But, I mean, I have to say they're all different, but there's something about the guard dogs, Luca and my new one, Ruger, that when there's an animal that exists for everybody else's safety, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and never get a break. I watch my 9-year-old dog struggle, and he will never stop fighting to save his family. And there's something special about that. That's not normal. I mean, I love my companion dog. It's not the same. When you've got a dog that's a guard dog of other lives, and they put their life ahead, they put their life on the line every single day, that is powerful. So if you forced me, I would have to say it would be the dogs. But I don't like to choose that. But I'm saying that simply because that's their role, and they die in the line of duty all the time to protect their charges. And to me, that just makes my heart burst.
Jake, would you talk about your decision to be so vulnerable?
I don't think I have a choice, Randy. How do you throw a lifeline to other people if you don't really put yourself out there? It's very scary. But had Oprah not come out about being molested as a child, I would have thought to this day I'm the only one. And that's not okay. It's a shameful thing that people think it's shameful. It should not be. And it ruins your life. And I know a lot of people who have become alcoholics or who are on drugs, a lot of men that have never told anyone, that have confided in me. And I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible what we've done as a society to keep this shushed. I mean, we got to save our children. We got to save our adults. It's not shameful. It happens, and we didn't do it to ourselves. And I think we need to be better protectors of these children coming up. Even I didn't get to have children, but I'm very protective of children who have gone through this. And I tend to see warning signs before other people do. So I don't feel like I have a choice. I really don't. And I will keep talking about it. I'll protect, everybody's still alive in my life, so I'm not going to divulge everything. But I will keep talking about this so that people are okay and people will love children and love the adults who have gone through this that are not okay still.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. That was a good one. Nicole, did you have a question?
Sure. It's not as good as that one. I was kind of going
Nobody can beat that one.
As a mother of a little girl who just walked away, she loves the cookies.
Oh, good.
I think it's great to empower women and let them know that they can do other things rather than just the job set for them in years past. Have you ever thought about writing a children's book about being a female farmer? Because my daughter is fascinated with the idea.
I actually get asked a lot to write a series of children's books. I don't know, Rachel, are they profitable for you guys? Should I do that? She's like, don't put me on the spot. I would like to do that, especially with the farm animals and all the different stories that I couldn't include that are really kind of magical. That I may be able to incorporate some of that, because I think that you should do things by yourself. If I didn't have a partner, I don't think that should stop you. I was given the opportunity, and I'm very grateful that I was, and I took it. And I don't think being single or being a female or a male should stop you from doing whatever you want to do.
So you're single?
I'm pretty sure I set you and your wife up, so maybe don't ask that.
What was the answer?
Very. Yeah, so y'all spread the word. Anything else?
Are you going to read?
I was actually told we don't really read for memoirs because it's a memoir. So I kind of gave you a synopsis of kind of what it's about on a high level. It's a memoir about city to country and all the really dumb things I did. Really dumb things. And I was very arrogant in my ignorance, which I think a lot of people are these days, but at least I'm aware of it now. And then on the bottom, the deep dive is getting through trauma and redefining who I was going to be as a single, childless woman. So, anyway, I was told that you don't read for memoirs. So. I just found that out too.
Do you allow visitors to the farm?
I do.
Sell your chicken eggs?
Yeah, I do when people show up and they want them. But yes, I absolutely love having guests out at the farm, and I like teaching children. And before the pandemic, I hosted a lot of groups out there and a lot of special needs, and I've always watched my animals to see who was drawn to special needs and really tried to. It's very hard because they tend to be born that way, at least in my experience. I think they're born that way, right, Tracy? Yeah. So yes, I do allow people of all walks of life, and I enjoy it. And I think more people should visit farms and learn about our food system and learn about animal personalities. Facts.
If you were going to write a second book, what would it be about?
All about you. It will cover things that I couldn't in this, and be a continuation, because I think it's really fascinating that, and ironic that I was a publicist and I used to do this for people. I used to get them these articles and this publicity, and the fact that I was so reclusive and did not want this at all. Thanks, Wesley. That it found me regardless of what I wanted. So I think it's really interesting, the irony of all this, and then some deep dives. So I definitely am considering writing another book. We'll see. Hopefully this one does well. Thank you for the question.
How did you come up with the name Daffodil Hill?
Oh, well, I liked Gucci the Goats, which is my blog name, and Gucci was an issue. So we came up with, oh my gosh, probably 100 names, if not more. And then finally, actually my editor said, "What's the name of your farm?" And I was like, "Daffodil Hill." And she goes, what do you think about that? I'm like, yeah, because all the healing happened here, so why not? So that's how. I would like to say that it was my idea. It wasn't. Anything else?
I just want to say your Instagram is so appealing.
Thank you.
I started reading it when we lived in Dallas, and to just really feel the presence of your animals. And when your turkey died, I just thought I was never going to recover. Because
you're talking about Rupert?
Rupert, absolutely.
So you've been with me a long time. Thank you.
But what I just want you to know that there is a gift that you are giving across the world to anyone who can find you. Because it's beautiful, and I have never met your animals, and yet if Posey walked up, or Ruby, or any of them, and your precious dogs, I would just say, "Well, hi." It's like we're friends.
It means so much that you remember Rupert, because I cried for years. I have him over my mantle still, a painting of him, and there's just some animals that change your life. That it's like they're human. And
but you humanized his story.
But he's human.
He was amazing, truly amazing.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. And the fact that Rupert's remembered, he loved children, and that's really not common, to have a turkey that would seek out children and let them hug him. And
he was a protector in a way.
So follow me everywhere. Yeah. He was the sheriff.
Yeah.
He's in here, and
he is. Oh, good.
Yes, he is in here, because this is basically the first about 3.5 to 4 years here, condensed.
Oh.
So yeah, Rupert's in here. So his death was not in here, because that happened after, and that about killed me.
Yeah.
Like I've never thought I could be so attached to a turkey.
I was too.
And my friend over here, she's got turkeys. Did I get you started with turkeys?
So I had a Rupert too.
Yes.
And it was devastating when he died.
It's the weirdest thing, because they love you and you know it, and they love people, and it's like they communicate. It is very strange.
And it was so fast.
It's yes.
I would have eaten.
Oh no. Nobody eats my babies except me if they're being bad, like really bad. Yes.
You just said that the farm was the start of your healing, but I would think you had to get started even to make that move, to decide, I'm going to leave Tampa, I'm going to leave my life here, I'm going to go to the farm.
Mm-hmm. I was utterly ignorant.
Your healing could have started at the end of the trauma as a childhood, and it's just, you didn't know it until you, am I right?
No. So I have thought about this a million times. He's asking about if my journey to healing started here, but he thinks that it possibly started way earlier. To be honest, I was so good at ignoring it and pushing it away and staying busy and distracted. No. In fact, I was kind of shocked to realize how much I missed those babies that had passed, or that I had no self-worth because I'd gone through that trauma as a child, being molested. I mean, it just sucks your self-worth away. And I didn't know that because I was wearing Gucci. I was making money. I had great friends and I had a great social life. I was completely ignorant of my trauma. There was something wrong because I was so depressed. I really attributed it to, I thought it was my last miscarriage. That was so brutal. You know, having a baby in the shower, I wanted to die. So I thought it was that. It was a lot more. It was just ignoring and being so self-protective to the point where a lot of people in my life didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was. So moving here, where you strip away your entire social capital. I had my family here, but when you strip away everything you knew and your life is completely different and you're learning a new lifestyle, what choice do you have? You have to look at yourself. And in being out in nature, you don't have a choice. Things happen. And there was some weirdly magical and horrible things that happened that woke me up. Until I came to the point where I didn't think I had any value whatsoever, and I'm just, if I can't contribute to society, what point do I have? And you'll read about that, but I do not think that I had any idea, real idea, because I think I'd always just thought you soldier on, you just get through it, you don't deal with things, it's fine. Once you've passed it, it's over. It's like leaving a job. It's not true. It wasn't true for me anyway, but I actually don't think that I really started dealing with it. I know I didn't until I got here. I didn't have a choice. But yeah, I think everybody's path's different. Some people know all along. Did I see another hand? No?
I was just scratching my head.
Attention getter. Anybody else? Any other questions? You.
What was one of the hardest things from being a socialite to then being a farmer?
What was one of the hardest things from being social and being out in society versus being a farmer? Having no attention. Having everybody else's life go on as if you never existed. And that was hard because I thought I was important. So I would say that for me, that was the biggest thing. That was big. It was eye-opening. Anything else?
Let's give Jake a big hand.